It's Listen In with KNN, the sports sound of the district. Today, we welcome a trailblazer in the football world. Growing up, she became attracted to the game, spending hours watching with her father and her brother. In 2011, she jumped into the pro football ranks as a member of the New York Sharks of the Women's Football League at 42 years old. She retired after 3 seasons. History was made in 2017 when the New York Jets hired her to be a coach and intern to work with the defensive backs during training camp and the preseason. As such, she became the first woman hired to the Jets coaching staff and the first African-American woman to coach on an NFL sideline. Her work has served as inspiration for women in sports who share similar goals and career aspirations. It's Collette Smith. She joins this live stream of Listen In with KNN right now. Here's your host, Kelsey Nicole Nelson. It's Listen In with KNN, the sports sound of the district. We bring you the biggest guests, great analysis, and the hottest sports stories in the nation's capital and beyond. And we bring it to you live. Welcome to this live stream broadcast of Listen In with KNN. Here's your host, Kelsey Nicole Nelson.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome into another live stream edition of Listen In with KNN, sports talk radio show and podcast presented right here on our home station, Fox Sports Radio, 96.9 FM and 1340 AM with me, your host, Kelsey Nicole Nelson. Now, week 1 of football is finally in the books, and what a week 1 it was. I think many of us are still reeling over the game that the Las Vegas Raiders and Baltimore Ravens gave us. And we're like, what? We want week 2 to give us more of that type of football. And just glad football is back. We've got an extra game this year. But something I wanted to do is talk about the stories behind football and really honor some of the women trailblazers that have blazed the trail for so many in football. And so joining me today, I have someone that not only matches my energy, but she's a true icon in football. She is none other than Collette B. Smith. She is the first African-American female coach in NFL history. I'll say that again, the first African-American female coach in NFL history. And she's also the first female coach in New York Jets franchise history. So Jets fans, Jet Up, and everyone, football fans alike. Again, I'm so excited to have her on the show for what she's done. And it's amazing now to see so many more women in the coaching ranks. And we have women like Collette to thank. And she's not let up. She's continuing to pave a trail in football and sports and so many other things that she's doing. So without further ado, please help me welcome none other than Collette B. Smith to the show. Collette, how are you today? Thanks so much for joining.
It's so great to be here. By the way, I love your intro. I was like, bobble with it, bobble with it.
I saw you did it. I was like, oh, I'm going to like her. It's going to be a fun show.
Yeah, good stuff.
Absolutely love it. To that point, Collette, have you had a chance to come to DC lately and enjoy any of our go-go music at all?
Well, I enjoy go-go music here in New York.
Okay, good.
So, I mean, I'm an HBCU girl. So for me,
love it. Yes.
Look, you know.
I love it. I love it.
We had doing the butt back when I was in college. So.
Look, don't start me, Collette. We'll do that at the end of the show. But I'll tell you, as the daughter of a Grambling Night, like HBCU love here all around. And Collette, again, just excited to have you on. And before we dive into it, I have to thank you, Collette. For those that don't know, me and Collette have been planning the show for a little while. So shout out to our mutual friend, Fago. But Collette, I know you were unfortunately hit by the horrible Hurricane Ida. And I know you've been just going through a lot. So again, I want to just take time out to do a wellness check and make sure that you're okay. And then, if you can, just give us the latest on ways that people can help. I think everyone saw the storms, and I want people to know that there are still people hurting. If you can donate, please, because there's so many people who are still in need of help again due to the storms that Hurricane Ida caused. Are you okay, Collette? First off, I want to do a wellness check with you.
So I'm looking real crazy right now. I haven't had a shower in 2.5 days.
Oh my gosh.
Just keeping it transparent.
Yeah.
My building was hit hard. This is something that was unexpected. And so, I live in a 15-story building.
Right.
Doorman, underground garage space. And we have no air conditioning. We have no elevators. We have no hot water. My car was totaled. I've got no car. So we're hit hard. So everyone thinks that Hurricane Ida is over, but it really isn't.
It's not at all.
We're dealing with reality right now.
Yeah,
So we are in reality mode. And so it's depressing. It's sad. And the only way for me to keep myself up, spirits up, is to keep working, to keep grinding, like making meatballs and sandwiches and bringing water downstairs to the guys. And I'm just doing whatever I can do.
Oh my gosh. Again, I know it's an emotional time, but again, I want people to just know, please, if you're able to help or donate, there's still so many hurting from Hurricane Ida. So please don't think that it's over. Again, the rebuild takes time. So many families, so many personal stories that were impacted by this. And so Collette, again, it's why I wanted to give you this space. And now our thoughts and prayers will continue to be with you. And I'm hoping soon that there's light at the end of the tunnel. And again, just for any of the listeners or viewers, please help our friends and fellow residents in New York, Collette. And again, just
thank you.
Heart. Just know I am so sorry. It's just, I know, a big heart for you, Collette. And again, you're just one of the strongest people. I haven't even got to talk to you long. I haven't known you long, but just from our conversations, Collette, I see that. And you're an inspiration to so many, that no matter what, to keep going, no matter what adversity happens, keep going. I know you've done that your entire life. And as we touch on that too, you're in New York, and I know right now you're living in Forest Hills, Queens, right?
Yeah, I'm in Forest Hills by the US Open. And I love living here. Mm-hmm. When we talk about strength, we also talk about courage.
Yes.
And we also talk about wisdom. And we also talk about hope and caring and humanity. On the eve of September 11, 9/11, 9/11, 9/11, I was one of the responders for 9/11. Mm-hmm. And I happened to find an article. That I was featured in. And I don't know anything else except to give. I don't know any other way but to help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that's a huge thing. And I think that's honestly what we all need to do, is help each other, right? Life is not just about us. It's about we and what we can do for each other and humanity. And, you touched on 9/11. It's going to always be just a spot that hurts so many. And you were a first responder. You saw it firsthand, and you're in New York. And so I can only imagine what that feeling was like. I was in New York right before the anniversary of September 11th. And, it's something that we'll never forget. You'll never forget where you were when you saw it happen. I know here in DC, the same thing, especially with the Pentagon. It's hurtful times. It's hurtful times. Yeah. I think the one thing that we've seen as Americans is us come out stronger together. And of course, never forgetting those people, never forgetting those lives that were perished, and always remembering their spirit.
From pain, there's power. From pain, there is power.
I love that.
And so let's go. Game on. Game on.
Game on.
It's game day. It is game day every day. Game on. Let's go. Game day, baby.
Definitely game day. And now, look, it's easy to see how you got into football. So, let's start there. Let's start at the beginning. You were always a football fan. I know you adored football. You'd spend hours watching the game with your dad and your brother. Something like I used to do with my dad as well, just watching football games. But I know, when you were growing up, you realized, too, there was no outlet for females to play the game of football. And so we love it and we watch it. But, hey, can the girls get some love? Right, Collette? So let's talk about that. Let's talk about kind of how you found your love of football. And how did you know, you always just kind of wanted to stay around the game?
I mean, I was a kid that loved sports and games the same way any other kid would. Yeah. I just happened to be a girl, and girls were usually cheerleading. But
yeah,
I was a girl that was like, I want to cheerlead and play in the game.
Yeah, wanted to do both. That was me.
I wanted to do both, and so I was never allowed to play football because of my gender. So it wasn't until I was 42 years old that I got to play professional football. And I was literally sitting in my apartment, and I saw a post that said women's professional full tackle football team final tryouts Saturday morning. Yeah. And I'm looking at the screen like,
did I read this right?
Wait a minute. They don't let us girls play. Right. And I read it about like 3 or 4 times. And I thought to myself, I said, you know what? Collette, you're 42 years old. Yeah. You're not going to make the team. But you owe it to yourself to experience that. So you better go there. You better get in the game, get there, at least see women doing this. Something that you wanted to do your whole life, but you were not allowed to do. So I went, and I went there just to experience it.
Right.
When I got there, I was like, oh, hell no. I'm going to make the team. And so it was this empowerment.
Yeah.
And so I've been involved in football since 2011. Professionally.
Amazing. Yes. And I love what you touched on in that story. You said 42 years old, right? And you see an advertisement for tryouts for the New York Sharks, New York's professional female football team. And I mean, you went for it. I think that's an important message. I think it shows, no matter your age, don't be afraid to go after and accomplish.
Right on.
Right? You don't want to be the daughter of yourself. You don't know what you got until you get out there. Try the tryout.
The world doubts us enough.
Yes.
The world doubts us. How dare me doubt myself?
Right.
Right. That's a strong feat to fill, though. I mean, it's you really gotta be strong to a degree and say, you know what? Everyone's saying you can't, but you still believe you can.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful that I went out there. Yeah. I'm overjoyed that I went out there and gave myself a chance. I believed in me.
Right.
At that moment, I believed in me.
And that's what you need. You need your own belief. I think so often in society, we look for others to believe in us. But if you don't believe in yourself, it's going to be a lot harder to do those things. And I think that's where it starts. And I think that was huge. We have a comment from my mom, Collette. Collette, you were meant to see that flyer. That's right on time right there. Yes, right on time.
I like it.
And I think it just shows sometimes, how destiny, and I know you've said in a past interview, you said, I knew I was not going to make the team. I used to smoke cigarettes and I was still occasionally doing drugs. There was no way I was going to make that team, but I decided I owed it to myself to be there. I love that last word.
Absolutely.
I owed it to myself to be there.
Yeah. I needed a change because mind you, I'm a 5-time rape survivor.
Wow.
5-time rape survivor. I'm a 3-time suicide survivor. And those are only the times that I was hospitalized. I tried to commit suicide many more times. Long story short is this. I gave up on me. But there was still a fire. And I couldn't wait for anyone to say, you can do this, Collette, because nobody was telling me that.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was telling me the opposite.
Right.
So guess what? I found the strength in me. The destiny in me.
I love that.
Greater than the storm around me.
The destiny in me is greater than the storm around me. Write that down. Take it to the bank. I mean, that's some powerful words. And I think that's the positive affirmations, though, we have to tell ourselves so much. To go back to your earlier point, the world will tell us enough what we can't do. There's enough doubt. There's enough haters in the world. Don't make yourself one and
don't be one of them.
Exactly. You have to be the opposite, because of course, when you start that belief in yourself, you're gonna, it's going to come out from you, and people are going to start to see that they need to believe in you, because you're going to start walking around with that confidence, and everybody's going to want to be a part of that. And so I think that's why your story, and I love that you are not afraid to share your story, because it's going to speak to someone out there, Collette, who might be right now doubting themselves, saying, you know what, I've always wanted to play football, but I've just been afraid to see what others are going to say about me if I try it. What if I don't make the team the first time? Again, so many thoughts run through our head all the time, but like turning,
you know what, there is no dishonor in losing a race.
Yeah,
there's only dishonor in not racing.
If you didn't,
because you're afraid to lose. Get in the race. You might lose, you might not, but if you don't get in the race, you'll never know, right? So we don't ever want to have self-doubt. We don't want regrets. I don't want regrets. I mean, I only have one regret in my whole life. Mm-hmm. Only one, but it was out of my control. My only one regret is that I never got my college degree. And I didn't get my college degree because I was raped by my aunt's husband when I was in college. Mm-hmm. So mentally I was checked out. Mm-hmm. So I never finished college. That's my only regret. Outside of that, you want me on your team.
Oh, so look, I'm picking you first. If there's the lineup, I'm picking Collette.
Yeah, let's go.
But you touched on just so many important things. And even I would say this to you, Collette, just because you didn't finish before doesn't mean you won't finish in the future. Talking again, putting positive affirmations into yourself. And you're never too old to go back and get that degree. I think we're seeing more stories like that now. And again, if you put your mind to it, I do believe you can do anything. And talking about doing anything and in destiny, I know at the time when you were trying out for the football team, you were actually selling real estate in Manhattan, right?
Yeah.
You had practice like 3 days a week. So, you go from business suit, the high heels, so late night practices, right? And putting on a helmet and shoulder pads. So a complete different wardrobe and outfit switch. So, but for you, it's like you had the day job, but you were still following your passion, right?
You know what's so funny, Kelsey, was that like I was showing $2 and $3 million properties.
Wow.
And Gucci suits, Louboutin shoes, Louis Vuitton bags, and I'm showing property. But on Tuesdays and Thursday nights, I had to carry my football equipment because that's when we had practice. So I would bring my equipment with me because I had to go straight from work to football practice.
Yeah.
And so some of the clients would say, "Oh, you have a son?" And I would say, "I don't have any kids."
No.
And they're like, "Well, oh, is your boyfriend practice?" And I'm like,
"What equipment is that?"
No. And then I would say, "That's my equipment. I have football practice." But I felt so good saying that because it was, you know what? I don't want to ever have anybody continue to normalize things that aren't normal. I won't do that. I'm not built that way. So I would go to practice wearing a Gucci suit, Louboutin shoes, and Louis Vuitton purse, my briefcase, and then go from that to a mouthpiece, helmet, shoulder pads, cleats. Let's go. Coach is yelling at me, and I'm like, yes. And then I would get home at 1 a.m. 1 a.m, and you're physically beat up. You're tackling, you're hitting, you're doing drills. You're tired. You're tired mentally and physically. And then I had to come home, take a shower, go to bed, eat. Hold on, eat.
Yeah, please eat.
Maybe do that. And then get in bed. And then the alarm goes off at 6 a.m. I'm going to work, selling real estate again.
Yeah, repeating that cycle.
Rinse and repeat. Yeah. But I was the old chick on the team. I was an old chick on the team. So the younger folks were able to recuperate
right
quicker than I was. I wasn't able to, but I was not going to give up. I'm not giving up.
Not at all. Not at all. Again, if you're out there just listening to Collette's story, if you don't take anything else away from this interview, it's to never give up. All right. You never know what can happen. So keep pushing forward. As we dive into football too, I want to hear. So you said you would tell your clients, that's my stuff. I'm going to football practice. I want to know, what was their reactions, Collette, once you told them that?
Oh, well, first it was just mainly disbelief. They were like, Oh, cut it out.
You're joking,
So
right?
it was just major disbelief. And then eventually when I would stand there firm and say, nope, it's happening. And do you want the property or not? Can I lock the door up? Because, you're wasting my time if you're not going to buy it. What's up?
Right.
So it was disbelief. But I will say that when I saw little girls coming and going wherever they were, from my building or my car or wherever, on the subway, holding my equipment, little girls would see me and they'd look at me like, and I would look at them and I'd wink. And I'm like, you can do it too.
Yeah, seeing is believing. And
Right?
that's what you did for those little girls when they saw you with that football equipment in your hand. That said
That
to them.
was the proudest part. Just like seeing kids in my travels that were like, you did that? Are you kidding me? And I'm like, yep. And you can too.
Yes. And we are seeing girls football grow across the country. And I think that's the positive steps we want to take forward. Now, should we have more? Yes. And could we have more? Yes. But at least we're moving the train, we're moving the needle. And this is why I love interviewing people like you, so we can bring awareness to that, because there might be somebody out there that didn't even know that there is women's professional football out there. And you are a living, breathing example of that. And staying on your football, you played with the Sharks for 3 seasons, right? You played defensive back. So shout out to DBs. We're the Sharks. We like defensive backs in football. You played for 3 years until a knee injury had ended your playing career. But then you didn't leave the game of football. You transitioned to becoming a defensive backs coach while also working in front office capacities for the team. So you went from the field to the front office. Let's talk about that transition and how important was it for you to take that experience that you learned on the football field and then as a coach exert that now into the younger members of the team?
Kelsey, I was terrified. I was terrified because I had never been a coach. Like, I never was allowed to play football. I mean, besides in the street with my neighborhood friends as a child.
Right.
So I was going to say the word be allowed. It's a shame that I got to say that, but that's how I felt. To be allowed to play a sport that I loved.
Yeah.
We'll let you girl play. We'll let you woman play. So to go from there to having like my peers, my teammates,
right,
to go from playing with them, and I was not a great player. I was not, but I was a scholar of the game. I wanted to learn everything: fundamentals, technique, positioning, alignment, assignment. I wanted to know everything, and I dissected it all the best I could. So when the owner of my team said, Collette, I know you said you're retiring. You're 45 years old now. You're retiring. She goes, we don't want to lose you. We want you around. And I said, well, I'll be around. I'm going to come around.
I'll come to games.
Right. I'll be at games or practices here and there. She goes, no, we want you to be a coach. My initial reaction, Kelsey, was, I've never coached. I don't know how to be a coach.
Right.
What are you talking about? Why would you ask me that? I can't do that. And she looked at me and she said, Collette, you've been coaching since the first day you got here.
Yeah, this whole time.
And I had to get in my car and drive home and say, she's right. So now I started stepping my game up even more than I thought I did.
Right.
And I'm watching football plays and schemes and coverages. And so it became, knowing how to intersect and be involved in a cover 1 or cover 2 or cover 3, cover 4. When's the best time to be in cover 3? When's the best time to be in cover 4? Where's your alignment? What are you doing? Who's coming back down? Like, it became the game of football that I loved as a baby, as a child, became that much more euphoric for me.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Because now I learned it in a different way that I'd never looked at it before.
And that's what happened.
I'm grateful.
And that's when the life kind of comes full circle, right? When you got pushed into a position that you didn't see. And I think that's what life does a lot of times to us. It wasn't in the original plans, but, I think they saw something in you that maybe you didn't fully see in yourself at first. And lo and behold, you got pretty good at it, Collette, and ended up becoming a very great coach So good, in fact, right, that you stayed on as a coach and also as director of marketing. And then you did something. You took a chance. I think you bet on yourself. You began bombarding the New York Jets Facebook pages, right, and fan groups with news about the Sharks. And you started to describe them as the sister team of the New York Jets, right? And your tactics work, right? The franchise realized, took notice, and ended up donating gear to the team, right, Collette?
Yep.
Huge.
Yeah. So you know what I find interesting is that had I never got, mind you, I was like you said, I was the marketing director and PR, promo and events for the New York Sharks. There was no paycheck involved. Let's be very clear about that. I mean, if you want to call $300 for a whole year of work a paycheck, then go ahead. But I started to strategize.
Right.
And I was like, wait, I'm a lifelong New York Jets fan. I love my Jets. I'm Jets first. I'm wearing my Jets right now. Jets. I got Jets on all the time. Okay? And so I said, you know what? How do we figure this out? So I would go on Facebook pages. And I'm like, yeah, I love my Jets. And the Jets, Jets, Jets.
Yes.
But then it became, their sisters love you too. And we need your support. So, hey, come out to our games. And the guys were like, the Jets have a sister? What? And I'm like, yeah, let me tell you all about it. So they would start coming out to our games. And these guys would reach out to me and they would ask us or will say, hey, coach, we don't have any of your Sharks paraphernalia. So what do you want us to wear when we come to your game on Saturday evening? I said, you come to our game the same way you would to a Jets game.
Yes.
Bring all that green and white. Bring all that Mardi Gras Jets colors and let's go. And they came out in full force.
Yeah. I can only imagine.
Kelsey, you gotta understand that as women, mind you, we're not lingerie, so we weren't showing skin.
Right.
It was real football.
We have the full pads, yes.
No, we didn't have people come out to our games. Nobody. I hate to say it, but nobody gave a shit. No one cared. But to have a pack of guys come in,
it's huge.
that are diehard Jets fans.
That support means the world.
Jets jerseys.
Yeah.
And Jets hats. And their water bottles were Jets. And they came out to support us, women New York players. It was a big deal. And I was coaching at that time. And I remember I was on the field with the whole team doing warm-ups and stretches. And these guys came in a pack. And my players were stretching and they were looking at us. I said, head down. And they were like, but look, coach. And I was like, focus. And then I looked and I was like, oh my God. I saw the way that played it was a positive attribute for my players' psyche. That they had support, not just from their mom and dad or their husband or their girlfriend that came out. This was outside people coming to see them play. Everything that we women worked hard for 3 days a week at practice. So it was beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, you made me just feel like I was there the way you described it. And there's nothing like looking in the stands and seeing that support, especially like you said, from people that you don't even know, but they want to be there for you. They're supporting you and they want you to do the best and they're screaming for you and they're going crazy for you. I think it's that fandom that we do see from Jets fans that was able to go to the Sharks. And I think this is what
came to the Sharks.
That's
I
huge.
do want to give a quick shout out to a guy named Bruce Reeder.
Okay. Bruce
Reeder is a diehard Jets fan. He's got cats. His cats have Jets jerseys. Okay. He got the group to come out to my women's pro football games. Bruce Reeder just passed away from cancer.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sad.
And this is the first season that his wife and all of his friends and me included are watching a Jets season without Bruce.
Wow.
Bruce was the one that initiated these guys to come out to my women's pro football team. Love you, Bruce. Yeah.
Collette, my heart's with you. I can only imagine. And just love to Bruce's family.
Yeah.
They're in spirit every single game day.
Yes.
Including this Sunday.
Right on.
Be there in spirit. And, and that's important. There's those people who love the game. They don't care if it's male or female, they love the game and they want to support the game and people in it. And I think this is why I love sports. This is why I love working in sports, Collette, because those fans that remind me every day why I love doing the job that I do. And so again, is looking down, watching, his spirit is here with us. And, talking about just your passion and love for the game. And we talked about how the New York Jets franchise donated gear to the team. You also had a chance. I know you guys also had received, practice field access, right? And a chance to shadow the Jets defensive backfield, which is pretty cool. And you had a chance to meet former head coach Todd Bowles, right?
Well, I worked under Coach Bowles. Coach Bowles
when you
was the one that hired me.
It's all right. I said, how did you? So when you met him, it was from pushing the Sharks, right?
Yes. Yeah. So it was never about me. It was never about me. I wasn't even thinking about me. It was just about the love of football and promoting women in football to get us respect that we deserve. Huge. And so I was fighting to get gear, support, anything I could get from my women's team. And it turned into me being a Jets coach.
Yeah. That's huge.
I had nothing to do with that. It wasn't from, I didn't go there saying, hey, I'm going to be a Jets coach one day. I was not allowed to have that dream.
Yeah.
I was never allowed to have that dream. So it happened. And, looking out for other people looks out for you.
That's, again, just something I felt. And to coach, for you to be able to basically create that position for yourself through your passion, through your hard work that somebody else saw in you. Somebody else believed in you. Todd knew what he was getting. He loved your passion for the game. He knew you knew the game. And then you get offered, you nurtured this relationship with him for about 9 months. And then you get offered an internship for the summer of training camp. And that starts you with the New York Jets. And then it goes back to my introduction. And then we have you again as the first African-American female coach in NFL history.
I didn't even know about that, Kelsey.
And I was going to ask you, when you find that out, what does that mean to you? The NFL has been around so long, and here you are the first in something. What's that weight carry for you when you heard that?
You know what? I'll have to rewind and quickly say I was going to an event with Billie Jean King, who's one of my heroes, and a friend today. She had an event, or was going to be at an event for Title IX. It was Title IX's 45th anniversary. And if anyone is not familiar with Title IX, look it up. Yes. It is about being girls having equal rights in sports programs federally in all public schools and elsewhere.
Yes.
So I went there wearing, a dress, and I wasn't sweating. I wasn't like cleaning up floors that I'm doing now during Ida. But I went there dressed up and heels on, and something said, bring your football helmet. I was on the subway in New York City carrying my football helmet on the train, on the E-train. And people were asking me about my helmet, and I was talking about it. So anyway, I walked into this event, and Billie Jean King sees me across the room. I saw her first, probably, though. And I'm like, oh, my God, Billie Jean King.
It's Billie, yeah.
And I'm like, my dad loves her. I love her. She's my hero. She fought for women's rights and equal pay. And I'm like, I got to get a picture with her. But I hate taking pictures. And I hate asking for pictures.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, man. But I got to get one with me and Billie. Billie sees me. And she said, oh, my God, Collette, right? And I turned around, Kelsey, like
me?
My name's Collette, but I'm like, is there another Collette? Like,
no way it could be me, right?
Right. And then I walk up to her, and she grabs my football helmet. And she said, oh, I'm sorry, can I hold it? And I said, well, you got it now, so go ahead. Yeah. And we talked, and she said to me, she goes, so you being the first Black woman to coach in NFL history, do you have an agent or a manager or a publicist? And I said, no. And what are you talking about? And she looked at me and she said, do you not realize that you're the first Black woman to coach in NFL history? And I said, what are you talking about? And so she was the one that brought it to my attention.
Wow. And I mean, how does it get cooler than Billie Jean King bringing that to your attention? Like, I don't know if you could have a better deliverer of that message. And then to know,
because for me, it was all about football. It was just like, you know what? I love football. I'm coaching in the NFL. And by the way, my favorite team. How great is that? Cool. I knew I was the first woman to coach in New York Jets franchise history, and I was cool with that. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Cool. But then when Billie Jean King said, come on.
Like, wait. I mean, it makes you, I mean, like I said, I would have like a freeze moment, like, wait, she knows not only me, but knows what I'm doing. And at the time, you didn't know what you were doing was so historic. But again, I think that
I didn't.
Why it's so important. And talking about that, you know, here in Washington, D.C., we had that feeling. We had a chance to see more recently. And thanks to you blazing the trail, Jennifer King, right?
Yes!
Washington football team. You know, I had to bring her up, Collette, and something that we were all so excited about, you know, working right now as Washington's assistant running back coach with our Washington football team. And at the time, her promotion back in 2021, becoming the first African-American female assistant position coach in NFL history. So we're continuing to put a crack in that glass ceiling. So when you first heard the news about Jennifer King coming over to the Washington football team, Ron Rivera bringing her on, what did that make you feel like, Collette? Just seeing
the start of equality, the start of womanhood, the start of people recognizing womanhood. I mean, as our first great Kamala Harris, the first Black woman to be vice president for the United States of America, she said, I am the first, but not the last. So when I saw Jennifer King, I was like, oh yeah, baby, let's go. Let's go. So, I mean, there's more of us now, right? So there's more of us. And I get phone calls all the time.
Right?
And I'm like, yes.
It's huge.
Yeah, so I'm ecstatic. Keep going. Like we're not stopping, right? So I'm proud.
As you should be. I mean, you made history. Again, I want everybody listening to realize that. Collette made history. 2017, the first woman, African-American female woman to coach in the National Football League. She started in 2017 with the New York Jets. And I want to kind of just dive deeper onto that relationship with the Jets. Let's talk about how the players reacted to having you there. Was it all welcoming in the organization? I mean, you know, did they just see you as a coach, not as a female coach and as a Black female coach, but were you just the coach that was helping them to get better to reach their goals?
I was just a coach. You know, I was a coach. I was a coach 30 seconds in. So the first 30 seconds were the guys coming up to me, pounding me, saying, hey, I got daughters. Oh, thank you.
Huge.
I got hugs saying, respect, coach, respect. But it was a look. It was like, you know what? It's a Black thing. And so mind you, most of the NFL players are Black, right? Let's be very clear about that.
You can see it. Yep. Majority.
Statistically, most players in the NFL are African American, period. So when those guys saw me walk up there and I'm wearing my Jet stuff and I'm standing there like this, they'd walk up and it was like, respect, coach. And then they would tell me, I got daughters. And they said, maybe my daughter might play football. I said, maybe she will, maybe she won't. But we're going to give her the options, right?
Yeah, as long as she's following her dream.
Follow your dream. So that was the first 30 seconds. Second 31 was like, let's go. Come on. Shut up. Let's go. So the players of my family, I love each and every one of those players. I've got my favorites. I definitely have favorites.
Of course. Every coach does.
Demario Davis, linebacker, even though I was coaching the DBs, Demario Davis is one of my all-time favorites. He now plays for the New Orleans Saints. He wears number 56. from Lawrence Taylor, Lawrence LT,
Yes.
56th
Woo.
greatest defensive
Right.
player of all
Yes.
time. Shut him down defense. Demario Davis wears that number, but he's allowed to wear that number. He's proven he can do the same thing. So and he was a player on the New York Jets that was a leader. Like, I only surround myself around people that want to be positive, people that want to have a game plan to get better, people that want to make you better. Demario Davis was one of those players. Wow. And after he would be at practice before practice started. And after practice was over, he would stay out there longer. And he would say to me, "Hey, coach, can you do me a solid?" I'm like, "Of course. What do you need?" He goes, "I want some DB drills." He's a linebacker, but he wanted DB drills. So I would be out there with him doing DB drills.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to be the best player, period. So I got favorites. I got Marcus May, Buster Screen. I mean, Kamal Adams, number 1 draft pick, 2017. Yeah. Come on. Yeah, we love Kamal, but that's my dude. I mean, I miss those guys.
I'm sure.
I miss them, but I see them excelling at their different teams that they play for now, from the Bears to the Seahawks to the Saints. They're excelling, and they got better. I always want to see improvement.
That's what a coach wants. You always continued growth and being there. And I can see why you miss them. When you're working for a team, you're part of that family. You are part of that family, and you want
Coach Bowles is my family. Like I was
going to ask you about him. What do you think about the job he's doing now with Tampa?
Oh my God, Coach Bowles. First of all, Coach Todd Bowles is one of the greatest men that I know in my entire life. And I don't say that lightly. Like, I know he's a great person. He's a great human being. He is a great coach. His football, if I could jump into his brain and learn his brain about football, woo-wee, I'd be good. He's amazing. And he's lovable. He's a good guy. Yeah. So I'm really proud. I'm really proud of Coach Bowles. I love him so much.
He's doing so
He gave me my start, and yeah, he deserves everything. Yep.
I hope he's listening. I truly do. Or I hope that message gets spread to him, because that's what it's about. And those coaches that took that chance and believed and allowed you to have a chance to at least prove yourself, give you that opportunity. And I can see just the respect and the admiration that you have for him. I'm so happy we touched on that. And then it's like, I don't want us to both get emotional, but also, Collette, we got to see also history made again as we had the first Black woman to officiate an NFL game.
Yes.
We just keep moving forward.
And it was a Jets game. How about that?
Look at that. The Jets Panthers. Look at this. Jets, hey, paving the way. Paving the way.
Yeah.
As we see this, do you feel like we're making the right strides in football, Collette, to continue to diversify the game?
Yes, we are. I think, mind you, I'm still angry. I as happy as I am at this moment, thinking about the progress that we have made, we're not there yet. When I was first interviewed by a newspaper, when I became a Jets coach, the last question was, well, what do you think and how do you feel about you being a female coach? And then I'm thinking, my answer was, I'd be more proud when I'm not an interview. Like, that would mean progress.
Right, because it's the norm.
Let's normalize this. Yep. How about we just hire people based on their expertise?
Right, because they're good, because they're talented.
How about that?
Want the right person for the job.
Does that seem absurd? I mean, it's so absurd, right? Because you know what? Because you're a woman, you obviously can't do the job. Right. Or because you're a guy, and give me a break.
Yeah, let's end that.
Let's hire the right person. So I'm hopeful. I believe that we are still behind, but it's ticking.
It is. The clock keeps turning. It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
We're speaking it into existence. And as we talk about speaking things into existence and just positive change, let's talk about Believe in You Incorporated. It's an organization you're the founder and president of. This organization focuses on building confidence in others and helping people live their best life. Can never be bad at any org that helps people live their best life. Let's talk about why you started this, Collette. I know it's a baby of yours. It's something you're so passionate about. So, let all the good people know just the latest with Believe in You Inc. I love that title for an organization.
So, you know what? Here's a quick briefing about the background of why the name was called Believe in You.
Mm-hmm. Right there. There you go.
Okay. So Believe in You. When I first went to a Jets practice and I called my dad when I got back to my car and I said, Dad, can you believe that the head coach of the New York Jets said you should work for this organization? Can you believe that? But I was saying it like it wasn't believable. Mm-hmm. And my dad said, wow, really? And I was like, yeah, can you believe it? Me? Really? And then my father said to me, you know what, Collette? I can believe it. I'd be more proud of you if you believed it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute. Whoa, that was like drop mic. So I drove from New Jersey, from New York Jets training camp at Florham Park, back to Queens, New York. And all I had in my brain was, my dad said I should believe in me. So he thinks I don't believe in me. Wait, maybe I don't. And I didn't. Not enough. So Believe in You.
Believe in you. That's huge. And then also just with believing in you, you've believed in yourself with everything that you've been through. Collette, you are a survivor. You are a survivor. And so if you could talk to anybody out there who might be going through a difficult time, who's also a survivor, that's having a hard time maybe believing in themselves again, what would your message be to them?
Know you're built to win. Know that you are built to win. You are here for a reason. I just want you to see it. Okay. I want you to see the greatness that you didn't allow yourself to see yet, but it's there. Operate on hope. Operate on belief. Operate on, I'm going to win.
Yes.
And if I lose, I just learned something more to win tomorrow. So let's make tomorrow better today. Make tomorrow better today.
Make tomorrow a better day. Collette, it's been such a joy and an honor and a pleasure having you on. But as a Jets fan, I can't let you go, Collette, without talking some Jets football, because you guys know you got a big game coming up this Sunday. I know it's a home opener. Always, always, always a great feeling. And I love this. You are built to win, operate, hope, and believe. Yes, Keisha, completely speaking that into existence. But the game, we got it. New York Jets quarterback Zach Wilson. First off, let's talk about just what you thought so far in his first debut. Of course, played the Carolina Panthers. Are you liking what you're seeing, Collette? Are the Jets on to victory? Because I know how passionate that fan base is, and we're excited for all the games that we get this season.
Yeah, so I like what I saw, but here's the thing. The thing is this: I like Sam Darnold. I like Zach now, but you got to get people in it for a minute. You can't say, okay, rinse and repeats, like he's in, work him quickly, and that's it. It didn't work out. He needs time to build chemistry.
Right, with his receivers and the offensive line.
His offensive line needs to protect him. There's so many factors. So, I believe Sam Darnold could have been amazing for the Jets. They got rid of him too quickly, in my opinion. We now moved on to Zach. So how long will Zach be there? So like if you move into my house and I show you the lay of the land, you won't be comfortable until you're comfortable. And that takes time. Give them time. So I'm not trying to rush anything, but there is a thing called chemistry on a football team. And so you can't just say, here's a great player, here's a great player, here's a great player. We got 3 great players. We're going to go to the Super Bowl. it's a science. It's a feeling. Like you gotta feel it. So I'm optimistic, but I don't want them to pull the plug too quickly.
Right.
I don't want my guys scared. Am I going to lose my job? But I also want them scared. Like, yeah, work for your job.
Right. Somebody else is going to come behind you and take it. Right.
So I'm accustomed to players playing hard to keep their starting position.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get to be a starter because you're a draft pick on top.
Right. It's earned.
You got to work for it every single week.
Yes.
So I'm hoping
mentality, that dog mentality.
That what's my name? You're gonna know my name.
Yeah.
Play. I'm that player, right? Be that player. So I want to. In fact, I may have to go. I'm just talking myself into this now. I may have to go visit the Jets this week and just to be like, what y'all gonna do? So, yeah.
No, I appreciate that. And look, we also got Jamison Crowder, Keelan Cole, for the Jets top.
He's hurt now, though. Yeah.
Expected to return to the lineup on Sunday, Jets fans. So I guess Christmas in September. All right.
I hope.
We hope. And again, the home opener against none other than the New England Patriots. Talk about young quarterbacks, Mac Jones on that other side. And, I think you make such a great point in quarterbacks, learning the system, giving them time to grow. But we do live in a league where everybody does want instant results. Every fan group says they can go to the Super Bowl. And then, we have guys like Patrick Mahomes and some, Lamar Jacksons and young quarterbacks who hit early. But
by the way, black quarterbacks, let me just add that, which is usually an unknown. That's an anomaly. Mm-hmm. So black quarterbacks doing it right. We got black quarterback Patrick Mahomes. We got Lamar.
Both of them.
We got it going on.
Quarterbacks. And it just excites you about the future of football. Well, Collette, I am wishing your Jets the best of luck this coming Sunday. I mean, again, we talked about some of the other receivers, and then Corey Davis. Look, they have some weapons. It's just getting everybody
weapons. Let's use them, though. Let's use them.
Use the weapons. Excited to get them all. But Collette, it's been such a joy and a pleasure. And Collette, before I let you go, is there any information you can give the listeners and viewers out there as to ways that they're able to help the people of New York, the people in your building? I just want to make sure we get that information across if possible.
Yeah. So we had Hurricane Ida up here. I need help. New Yorkers need help. We need help. The storm, everyone thinks it's over. It's not over because we're dealing with the reality of it all.
Right.
The reality is that I don't have a car. Mm-hmm. I got to get it's hard. So look me up on Instagram under Collette V Smith, COLLETTE V for victory. My mama would tell you the V is for Veronica, but I tell you it's for victory.
We know it's for victory. We will note that the V is for victory. Don't let
anybody. V is for victory. So you can find me on. I've got a GoFundMe page that someone created for me, which I'm very thankful for. So right now I'm carless. I can't get to my mom and dad when I need to. When I need to be there. So I need help. I don't like asking for help. I'm usually the one that gives it. So this is Kelsey. This is very hard for me to ask for help.
Yeah,
but I need it.
But don't be ashamed, Collette. We all will need help sometime in our life, and there's people out there who want to help and who are able to help, and that's why I wanted you to share this. So please, anyone out there, if you're able to give or know someone able to give, or even just share this note and this message for Collette and the people of her building. I know Collette sent me the news story, and just seeing that again, as you said, no AC, cars totaled. Like, people are hurting right now. People are.
I mean, you see, I'm sweating. You know what? I'm sweating. We have no AC. Yeah. I couldn't sleep last night. I got a fan going on, and I'm like, I mean, it may seem. I don't know what it seems like. Mm-hmm. I just know that I'm human.
Yeah.
And that these elements have affected me negatively. And I need help. We New Yorkers need help. So
please support our brothers and sisters in New York. Collette, I will be continuing to check in on you this week and this month. And just thank you for your time, sharing your story, being vulnerable with me, and just, letting people in letting people in, sharing your story. And I know someone out there got inspired today by your words and your actions. And this is what we like to do on the show. So again, Collette B. Smith, you guys are listening to a trailblazer, a history maker, an icon, and someone that's also paying it forward and giving it back. Collette, thank you so much for your time and for joining the show again.
Kelsey, thank you.
You.
Kelsey, y'all look out for Kelsey. I'm telling you right now, y'all gonna see her everywhere. So look out for Kelsey Nelson. Let's go. Game on. We keep it going. Kelsey, I appreciate you. I'm proud of you. I'm rooting for you.
Thank you so much. That means the most to me from the bottom of my heart, Collette. Thank you so much. And to have, especially as a Black woman that I look up to, it means the world. It means the world. I just got to be honest on this show, Collette. We keep.
Hey, me too. I feel you.
The world. So thank you again so much, Collette. Again, we'll be checking in with you. As she said, please reach out to her on Instagram. Please, if you're able to give even a little something, please do. Again,
thank you. So y'all can look up my Venmo, Cash App, PayPal. Look me up. I mean, you might want to post it, Kelsey. I don't know.
I'll make sure I do. I'll make sure I post in the comments. So everyone, please, in the comments, we'll put the link in. But Collette is an amazing human being, person that's done so much. Let's do for her now. Collette, thank you again so much for joining the show. Appreciate you. And please stay safe and have a good night as much as you can, Collette.
Thank you. God bless.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, everyone. Thanks so much again for joining me on the show. Just what an impactful show. Collette is truly amazing. And just one more time, again, if you are able to give, please, please, please give to our brothers and sisters in New York, Louisiana, and Texas, and everyone else that was affected by Hurricane Ida. It takes all of us. We're always going to be stronger together. And again, just on the remembrance of September 11th, just remembering all of those beautiful and souls' lives that were lost. We will never, ever, ever forget. We'll be back tomorrow, 6 p.m. You guys know we usually do Thursdays, but we did a special show this Wednesday because we are continuing to honor women trailblazers in sports. Tomorrow at 6 p.m., we're staying with that theme, and I'm excited to bring in Connie Carberg. All right, Connie Carberg made history when she joined the New York Jets, becoming the NFL's first female scout. All right, so today we had the NFL's first African-American female coach. Tomorrow we're having the NFL's first female scout. We're continuing to bring on trailblazers and history makers and just highlight their stories. Bring your questions. Make sure you're commenting in the section so you can talk with them and interact. The show is not just me. It's all of us together. And again, I just want to make sure we highlight these stories. Just a special thanks again to my incredible and amazing team. I have to shout out my team because I was in New York last week and they kept the ball rolling. Later tonight, I got to go over my intern stuff. Like, it's just great to have a team that you can count on. And then a special thanks to you all that join me each and every week on the show. I cannot do it without you. You are all the fuel and fire and passion that keeps me going. So we want to keep bringing you all just guests that you all can, of course, just coordinate with and speak with. And again, just a special thanks to my team. See you all tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Don't miss it. Bye, guys.
Follow Kelsey on social media at The Real K Nelson. Catch episodes of Listen In with KNN on YouTube, on air at AM 1340 and 96.9 FM, Fox Sports Radio, on Facebook and Twitter, and online at KelseyNicoleNelson.com. Thank you for watching this live stream broadcast of Listen In with KNN.
Listen In with KNN on Fox Sports Radio now offers official Kelsey Nicole Nelson apparel in a variety of styles for men and women. Fashionable shirts, leggings, hats, jackets, and more. Order now and get 15% off and free shipping. Just enter promo code KNN. Get your Listen In with KNN wearables today. And check out Listen In with KNN on Fox Sports Radio with Kelsey Nicole Nelson.
You used to hear me on your airwaves or hear me on my hit podcast, but now I'm taking you to the screen. You'll love Elevator Thoughts. We will talk the latest trending in sports. It's game time. What better way to get to know those that visit the show than over some good food and drink? It's time for confessions.